What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, and Miss Courtney. RedemptionAgency.com. 22 years selling full-time on eBay. 2.5 months selling full-time-ish on Poshmark. All right. Well, I heard a news story about item specifics, so going to kind of rehash what happened to me with eBay and item specifics, and then this news story, what little I do know about it. So let's get started. So today, or the weekend, was another weekend that shows we cannot rely on eBay solely anymore. So down 14% from last month, still in that near that 12 to 15% range, down every month over month. It just keeps pushing me down further. So today, I am going to really just start. I've been kind of slacking throughout the summer, just working on myself. So yesterday I started a new routine where I make sure I get a minimum of 100 done, and then I had 100 prepared for today. So I got 100 to launch today. Then after I launch those today, I'll work on another minimum of 100 to be ready to go tomorrow. So that's creating a goal every day will help keep you focused, will keep you driven, so you're not as disconnected, I guess you could say, where you're looking at YouTube and looking at Facebook or doing whatever. When you make a goal, it keeps you driven. So always set goals. I always liked starting outside of my comfort zone before. That can lead to disappointment and then backing off. So I decided to cut my goal in half. Normally I was 200 a day. And on days I didn't get there, it kind of deflated me, right? So now I'm going to do a goal I know I can beat, and then I can do extra. And then whatever the extra I do is just bonus. If I get to 200, awesome. If I get to 250, awesome. If I get to 150 because something came up here or there, no big deal. So I'm kind of going to roll it that way this winter and see how it goes motivation-wise, mental-wise, to keep focused and getting in there. So that's what I'm going to do. And then, of course, when I list them, switch them to Vendoo, going to Poshmark. So that is the goal. So Friday, not good. $418 Friday. I had a huge turn off in sales on Friday, on a Friday night. Saturday, 582, so we got better on Saturday. Sundays, which used to be my biggest days, $527. So, poopers. This morning we were at 830. I'm at $42. So there did seem to be a shutdown again overnight. Nothing came through for me 12 p.m. to 7 a.m. Central Time. Nothing came through at all. So, but yeah, during the day I've been having more and more of those 2 and 3 and even 4 hour stretches of that happening during the day. So let me look at the splits. So Friday split was 9 organic, 19 promoted for 28 items. Sad. Saturday, 39 items, 14 organic, 25 promoted. Sunday, 13 organic, 21 promoted for 34 items. So let's This morning we're at 3, 1 organic, 2 promoted. So I've always said that all my numbers were red. I've got more green now. So this is a positive. My page views are up almost 1%. My impressions by placement, the top 20 search impression, up 9.1. That's huge, because that's where I've been having the biggest problem, is my top 20 search impression. That first page, my items just seem to be blanked on most of the time. So that's a positive, up 9%. The rest of search slot impressions up 12%, or at 12%, up 8%. And then the non-search impressions down 7%. So good. It's good to see the non-search impressions go down and the other two go up, because that's what people are supposed to be searching for. We know the search ain't perfect, and it brings up a lot of crap that you're not looking for. And I think that, now that just popped in my head, that's probably the biggest problem. If you're being limited to a certain amount of search impressions because of the percentage you're promoting, your search impressions are probably getting wasted on eBay right now. Because as we know, when you type something in, you get a flood of stuff that is not even relevant to the terms you're searching. Jan got on it a couple of days ago, or she complained to me a couple of days ago. She said, and I haven't really talked to her about this, she got on there looking for something, and she said she gave up because it brought up so much junk that she wasn't looking for. And then I explained to her that's one of the things we've been talking about and complaining about, how it's just making what you're actually looking for very difficult to find. So she didn't even know about this, and she's complaining about it. And then that just popped in my head. If you're only allocated X amount of top searches because you're only promoting at X percent, and those impressions are getting wasted on pointless things, like you have a super duper califragilistic and somebody types in clothes and your super duper califragilistic comes up, the person's not looking for that. That's just a wasted impression. That could be the biggest, now that I'm thinking about it, it could be one of the biggest hurts. This is just a new theory that just popped in my head out of the blue, so I haven't processed this yet. So let me know what you think, so then I can get more information to process it better. So are our impressions being wasted on pointless placements because the search mess up? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. For Poshmark this weekend, it was a little bit slow, I felt, but what is slow for me on Posh? Yeah, it was slow. Definitely slow. Definitely slow weekend on Posh also, actually, for me. $8 on Friday. $36 on Saturday, and $10 on Sunday. But at least I wasn't blanked, so I still only have one blank day for the month, which is an improvement. Had 3 last month, I think. 3 or 4. So at least we weren't blanked, so that's good. So we're halfway through the month on Posh, $644. So on track for $1,300, which would be $400 more than my last 2 months. So that's a positive. Going up is always good. Need that extra money with eBay. Such a disaster. Okay. Let's see. My ex-boyfriend is from St. Louis also, and I remember in his walking closet in Wisconsin had a bunch of caps from lots of sports teams. Conspiracy theory here. Has anyone noticed a trend of companies purposely harming themselves? Example would be some companies advertising some woke agenda knowing it goes against a large percentage of supporters. Some of these companies look like they're trying to find ways to harm the company. You know, that you say conspiracy theory, but that thought popped in my head too before. And even before the whole Bud Light thing started. I'm trying to give other examples from what made the news, but I wasn't ready for this question. It's almost like kind of another conspiracy theory here. It's almost like companies are being paid off by government to help sway like the news media sways. You know what I mean? Like they're being paid to make people, whether that's believe, think, condition, however you want to look at it, you know? Like, I mean, I don't drink and I don't have nothing against any person, anywhere, anytime, unless you're hurting a child or an animal, an innocent life type of thing. But when you try to push something, half the population's going to go, I don't understand it because I don't see that's a problem. So why are you trying to push that on me? And the other half might get it. You know what I mean? Like, kind of, I guess, with kind of like the Israel thing going on now. You got people supporting the people who attacked the Jewish people, right, in Israel. And you're like, why are you supporting the killing of Jewish people? But then you look at it and go, well, person like me, I'm like, I don't get into it because I'm like, I don't know what we're being fed. I don't know what the truth is to what reality, you know. I don't know if we're being fed something to condition, if we're, you know, there always feels like there's an agenda behind anything like media-wise in the U.S. So I'm not trusting of any kind of media. So it doesn't make me like not sympathetic per se, but it's like if I don't see it with my own eyes, even if I see it with my own eyes, there's a 50% chance I'm not going to believe it, right? So I've always stayed out of that kind of stuff just because I've never trusted sources. But then you look at something like that. Okay, if people are being fed that the information that is coming out, if it is what's being fed, but then you have people standing up against what's supposed to be what is the negative part of the story, then that makes you wonder, well, why? Is that part of another part of a separation game to make some Americans hate other Americans? So now you've got the media hating, splitting you here and splitting you here and splitting you here, and now they're going to split you here? Or is this really happening? Or are these people just clueless? You know, there's so many variables and questions with everything. And hey, I just step back. I love everybody. And unless it happens in front of my face, you know, there's nothing I can do about it from here. Unless I was over there fighting the battle and seeing it firsthand. So being here, all I can do is handle the situations around me. So that's the way I kind of just view life. You know, if there wasn't media, news outlets and stuff, and we were in the barbaric days, guess what would matter to me? What's around me and nothing more. What happened in California? I don't know. So why am I concerned about it? I need to be concerned about what's happening around me. So that's the way I kind of view it in a barbaric way, if you will. Trying to trying to act like media does not exist. And if you do try to pull nuggets out of it, make sure you go both sides of the story. Well, actually, 3 sides to every story: your side, my side, and the truth. So you always got to try to find that third side by picking up what pieces you can here and there. So, and that's the worst thing about American media, especially now, is I don't have time for that. I've got a life to worry about. I've got to worry about my family type of thing and myself. I can't worry about trying to spend hours figuring out what the truth is. I don't know. But yeah, I've often wondered why it seems some companies, and just almost like, for me, goes back to maybe like 2010-ish, when the internet changed. I think it was about 2010. The internet before 2010, I remember being super quick. Boom, 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 boom. And then they introduced a new way of doing things, and everything started getting that spinning wheel of death, I call it. Ever since that popped up, the internet has slowed down. At least for me. But I only run at like 200 speed, so I don't know. Conspiracy theories. They're only fun if it involves Bigfoot and stuff like that. You think we should all jump on Whatnot? I think a lot of people already have. Weekends are extremely slow. I thought things had turned a corner, and then the weekend came, and it's like they pulled the switch. Very discouraging. Yeah, I have I get sucked into that 2 or 3 or even 1 good day, and I'm like, woohoo, I think things may have changed, and then it just goes right back down. I've been sucked in it time after time. Somebody put a message on one of my, and I responded to it, so I won't see it here. Said, everybody be warned, he's erasing comments that are critical to eBay. And I'm like, well, I don't erase comments unless it's spam, which I'm getting ready to do, which made me remind me of this. And obviously, he's never watched my video if he thinks I am erasing comments critical to eBay. Have you not even seen my thumbnails? Oh. And that's the thing. A lot of the negative comments, if they've watched anything, they may have watched 1 minute of something, and everything else is based on what they think is in the video. I learned that by putting, a negative connotation on the thumbnail and or title, but nothing in the video is really negative. And then people complain that you're being negative. So you don't watch. That's a good way to weed out the phonies. eBay is broken for sure. I've been pumping out the most items and top quality items I would normally make money on, get nothing. My business runs on auctions, and even that is dead. I've been seeing this issue with search for about 2.5 months. I thought I was certainly crazy, but I just put it together watching your video. So if you didn't watch the video Saturday, clear proof that eBay is suppressing items. I haven't put up media consistently in quite a while. So this weekend, I focused a lot on media because I had a lot of media backing up. And when you see items that are normally at the top being suppressed, saying, shows fewer words, when that's not the case and it's down at the bottom, clearly accounts are being suppressed. For what reason is not known, and I ain't even going to begin to speculate like a lot of people tried to do, because we don't know what eBay's up to. We don't know if it's a problem. We don't know if it's intentional. And then somebody made a comment about the first zero in the UPC, and I knew I couldn't start responding back to people, so I didn't. But like, if there's an extra zero in front of the UPC code, that doesn't matter. It's kind of, you'll still get the same results. So I couldn't. So everybody started having theories, and I started reading them, starting to respond, and they just popping in. I'm like, I can't, because I can't try to explain everything in typing. That would take up my whole day. So I'm just like, let it go. Let it go. But clearly, things are being suppressed. Then yesterday I did a little bit of a different video with the Camping World thing, because I had stumbled on the story of them closing 37 locations. So 20% of their locations are closing. So did a little video on that. So I'm always watching out for businesses that are closing, because that's how I started not started it, but that was a big part of the first 10 years of this business, was buying out businesses closing. So Josh Galt says, Saturday and Sunday have been totally dead for me. I thought it was because I was working on my inventory and not listing as much. No, it's not. When you have tens of thousands of items up, it's, at least with me, I know, and you guys probably know, what my foundation items are like. I could not list for a week, and still, prior to all these issues, I still get the same results. Now, that being said, I could probably do the same now and still get the same results. They're just all goofed up. Like, if I stop listing for a week now, which we'll see in November, it's not like my numbers are going to go down to 100 or 200 or 0 a day. Shouldn't. Never have in the past. And then, because I stopped listing every day, especially during the summer, I'm just like, I'm just kind of doing whatever. So that's why my listing number has not climbed. It actually has declined, because I've been kind of, every time I end to sell similar, I lose anywhere from 2 to 12 items, because of the item specifics and the pictures being erased. So I'm having a lot of delisted product in my inventory now, because of the eBay issues. So, but most of them are the items that are using item specifics, like the media, when you scan it in, and using the stock photo and stuff like that. But then I've had other stuff here and there of my photos missing, and sometimes the first one, sometimes all of them, sometimes a third and a fifth one, and it's just a mess. So, which, let's start shipping, and then I'll get into the topic. Speaking of item specifics, being that's what it entails. So we'll start with what I know and what I've experienced. So obviously we know that item specifics and this new search thing that eBay is using, the AI algorithm, whatever you want to call it, I don't even care anymore, was giving a lot of people fake Veros. Veroing items, canceling items, saying they were counterfeit when in fact they were not. We got a Masters 2019 visor sold on Poshmark, sold for $8. So, had this happening, I mean, I probably had a good, at first they weren't, the first set of probably, I don't even know how many items, 10 to 20, I don't even know. It was no strike against the account. None of them were. And then this last one gave me dings against my account for that t-shirt that clearly is not fake, not counterfeit. So leading up to this, and I'm going to put out a warning because a lot of you guys have watched the item specific video Rachel made. My concern on all that is keyword spamming. If you put the wrong words in there, you're going to get a Vero for spamming eBay. So if you go crazy and think, oh, I can put any word in there and it's going to come up in search, which from what I was told that she did, just made up a word that wouldn't be found on eBay or something. And hopefully she changed that so she won't get, and hopefully she gave a message to you guys saying not to do that because you can get in trouble for doing it. We got Vikings tennis, sold for $6 on Posh. But apparently, now I haven't seen the list, I didn't get to see the listing or see the details, but from what I've been told, that someone got a strike against their account using the item specifics. And the item specifics that says autographed yes or no, they clicked no. And since they clicked that item specific, they got a strike for keyword spamming the word autograph. They did not use the word autographed in their listing whatsoever. All they did was mark no on the item specific. Now, as we know, before this whole system came on board, you were not allowed to put no this, no that, in the title. Like, you can't say things like Tiffany like, or I'm trying to think of a good example. Something that would normally be sold with something, but you put no this or that in the title. But that word is a major word. So if you put no, God, I can't, I'm totally blanking on an example right now. I'm so sorry. Like if you had a kitchenware set and it had knives, spoons, and forks in it, but the spoons were missing, and you put no spoons, that's technically keyword spamming the word spoon. That's an example, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if spoon's a big enough word to tip off anybody, but you know what I mean. So if you click no in an item specific under autographed, that's alerting, I'm guessing, the new AI system that it's no autograph. And that is one of eBay's rules. You can't put no and something that could help it in the algorithm. That's what I took from it, being what has happened to me. But like I said, I don't know more details than what I was told about this. So I haven't seen it. So take it for what it is, but be careful with the item specifics is my point. With this new system they're using, it's all, at least appears to be, going to be all automated. And it can cause issues, as you've seen with brands. If you put up a Budweiser hat and it is literally on a unbranded hat, do not put unbranded as the brand, put Budweiser. It's lying to the customer, but you got to do it to save your ass on eBay now. We got this Russian hockey jersey. Sold for $30 on Posh. So just be very careful. I don't go in and go item specific crazy. If you watch my videos, you know I do very little item specifics. And now I'm glad I do very little item specifics. Because item specifics are now becoming, and they're now becoming a hazard to our accounts. And I think that's one of the big reasons, as I said, that eBay has announced they're pulling back some of the item specifics, because it is flagging this new system to take down things that it shouldn't be taking down. And apparently this new no autographed click is going to be one of them. So what's next? I asked that when it came to the unbranded part of on the hats. What's next? Then it was shirts. Well, then shirts started getting tagged. What's next? Well, now it's the no click boxes when you click no down underneath. What's next? It seems like it's a process they're working on. They feed it a little bit at a time. They'll feed it maybe a couple of rules, let it go, see what happens. A week later, feed it some new rules, see what happens. And that's my theory on why I think that they're pulling back on item specifics now. This is all theory, but it makes sense with the information I have right now and what I've been through. So just to be careful. That's all I'm saying. Not telling you what to do and what not to do. Well, unless I know it's 100% wrong. But so eBay's setting you up to fail now, and that's pretty sad. Because if you were doing the things that eBay wanted you to do, well, now all of a sudden some of those things are wrong. We had a Mizzou long sleeve t-shirt. Sold for $10 on Posh. So, and I think that situation alone kind of is the benchmark of what is going on with eBay right now and the mess it has become. That if you did things properly the way they wanted you to, now it's biting you in the ass. Because they're changing the rules by changing the game, and they're not telling anybody about it. We're left to fend for ourselves, figure it out ourselves, and they have nothing to come back on them about it. There's nobody you can easily talk to because guess what? The reps are all in the dark also. And all they're going to tell you is what they've been told to tell you. No, you messed up. It was probably you. And that's just sad. It's an ugly way to conduct business. Ugly way to conduct business. It's an immoral way to conduct business. I don't like people who are immoral. Where's stamps? They close it down? I don't like immoral people or companies when it comes to messing with people's livelihoods. You try to do it's that whole rule of the nice guy finishes last. You do everything you're supposed to do it the way you're supposed to do, and guess what? You still get screwed in the end. If you would have found a way to rob a bank without a gun at 18 and hid all that money, did a little 5-year skit in jail, guess what? You'd be sitting pretty right now. I'm not telling you to go rob a bank. I'm just saying. I think about that all the time. Is that wrong? I think about if I would have done one bad thing the right way, I'd be sitting a lot better than I am right now. I'd be retired somewhere on a beach. Well, more like a mountain, but not too far from a beach, within driving range of a beach. Sold this Rep Dominican hat on Bonanza. Sold for $10.40. But that's you know, and that's one thing a lot of people I had to get over in life is like the people who try to do right all the time are usually the ones who end up having to work the hardest, die the soonest, and get screwed the most. And learning that at a young age made me only want to earn money in a way that I enjoyed. Because there was no way in hell I was going to put myself through misery and then get shit on at the same time, right? At least if I get shit on now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And I have that to fall back on. It makes it, you know, more positive in your life than negative. But if you're working a job that you just hate and you're miserable at, and then when something bad happens to you, then it feels like there's more misery in your life than good. Or it can anyway. Okay, you're not going to work properly for me? I clicked you twice. Maybe this is why you were closed. Because you're not working properly anymore. Really? It keeps flashing like I printed it, but it's not printing. Well, I guess we're going to pirate ship. Oh, there's pirate ship. It is open. Screw you guys, I'm going to pirate ship. Alright. 6x4. All right. Okay. 1 international. And only 1 international overnight. Candy Staten House of Love cassette. Sold for $10. Headed to Florida. Forgot to grab some mailers. Stay up there. One little mess up and they're going everywhere. Be careful. I ordered my Giro pack yesterday. And like a lot of the colors were out of stock. So I ordered like a light blue. They came back and said, those are out of stock. I'm like, just give me any color. I don't care what color they are in the end. So I think I got white ones coming. Like they all do the same job. Okay. Leon. So if you need bubble mailers or poly bags, I have a link below. Save 10% on still, I believe, the lowest priced shipping items out there. I wish they did boxes too. We got another Pokemon picture that sold. Sold for $14. Headed to Spokane, Washington. I think Vendu, you guys have been using my Vendu link below. Save 25% on your first month. I'm already like at $800 on Vendu now with affiliates. Thank you guys. That's pretty awesome. Will you fit in here? Actually, they owe me almost $300. Like, you gotta wait 45 days, but right now it says they owe me 400, or like, I think it's like $280 or something last time I looked. Like, why are you not sending that money? Give me that money, especially with eBay messing up. I need it right now. I needs it, unfortunately. It's supposed to have been extra money, but no, eBay don't want to play fair no more. Okay. 13. Kyle. Humdy, humdy, hum. The question is, am I going to find Jan a car this week so you can get a new car? Oh, you're up next. We got some kangaroo boots. $13. Headed to Wisconsin. And I'm going to have to get a box for them. She can't pin down what she wants. And then she has to have all the safety features because she's blind in the left eye. So she'll give me, like, I know what she likes. So I went and test drove a Maserati in the price range, and very rough ride. They're definitely overhyped. So I would not recommend a Maserati. $12.96. Priority's cheaper. Mondo. So I want to get the most for the buck, which is going to be around 70. But I think I'm going to have to go with like to get like everything, like the smooth ride, all the bells and whistles, the comfort, top stereo, all this and that. You have to go with something that you're not paying, to get all that in a Mercedes, you're paying $100,000 because you're paying for the name. To get all that in a Beamer, you're paying more. To get all that in an Audi now, you're paying more. So it looks like I'm headed back to Jeep Grand Cherokees, because you can get a whole lot more with a brand like Jeep as opposed to Mercedes and BMW and all that when it comes to comfort, styling, the interior. So I'm looking at a Summit right now, Grand Cherokee Summit, which is the top of the line for comfort and all the bells and whistles, and is only like under like a Trackhawk and a SRT. So, but then they don't have all those comfort features. So we got an Old Navy women's t-shirt, sold for $8. This is why I've been picking up Old Navy stuff. $8. Stuff's a dime a dozen out there. Headed to Pennsylvania. The only thing about those new Jeep Grand Cherokees is I hate the front end on them, the look. I love the older style. This newer style just, it doesn't seem right to me. But I can probably get over that just by sitting in it and driving it. We'll see. I haven't test drove one yet. We went out there to test drive one and the battery was dead, so I was kind of holding out for a 5.7. We've got a Frederick Fennell Conducts Cole Porter vinyl. Sold for $350, headed to Washington. So they ended up getting a 5.7 in, but it was the manager there bought it for his wife. And if you don't know, 5.7 is just a bigger engine, so it's got more power. More power, so better resale value when you do get rid of it. Next up, we've got M&M shirt. Green M&M, sold for $10.50. Headed to Sunnyside, New York. Wisconsin Badgers hockey. Hat sold for $8, headed to Wisconsin. What? I think they're like, okay, 2 Wisconsins and a Washington. Okay. What's going on here? I need a hero. Next up, we've got legendary whitetail flannel button-up men's tee or shirt, I should say. Sold for $15, headed up to Kansas. When I do that, I grab it in the wrong place and it rips. These are the U-line ones that are perforated, and if I grab it wrong, it all rips there. Damn it. I'm not going to waste it. Just not going to do it. I'm not going to waste you. I'm not going to waste the bag. Not going to waste the bag. Timothy. Death Ray CD, whoever that is. Sold for $4.20, headed to Cary, Illinois. Next up, we've got this balloon. Something Jan loves picking up this kind of stuff at the bins. Just light, goofy stuff like this. So it's a blow-up donkey. Sold for $5. Headed to Connecticut. Get off my hand. So it fell on my leg, stuck to my leg. That does not want to go in the trash can. Next up, we've got a Thai Beanie Baby, a little crab. He sold for $5, headed to Cooksville, Tennessee. That means I gotta get, I think I'm out of my purple mailers. I think I have some manila ones still in there. Tracy. All right, next up we got Desmond Decker and the Aces CD. Sold for $20. Headed to San Francisco. I got one pack left of the 0 packs. Oliver. Next up, we've got this Visconti, if I'm saying that right. Men's button-up shirt. Sold for $6, headed to Florida. That collar just being a pain. So let me do it this way. There we go. While you're here, please hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. And I love you long time. All right, James. Love you long time. Next up, just put this up yesterday. Blue Ridge Country Hymns cassette, headed to Santa Monica, sold for $6. Nick. We've got this Black Rivet Newsboy hat. Headed to Clearwater, Florida. Sold for $17.50. Dun, 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 dun. So I will go live today unless I get sidetracked in the car world and have to go test drive a car. On the live feed lounge, if you're not connected with me there. 4 p.m. cassette single. Headed to California, sold for $4. Boom, boom, boom. We got Toronto Blue Jays hat, sold for $8, headed to San Gabriel, California. Kenny. And lastly, for the U.S., we've got this John Lennon guitar. This goes on one of those plush dolls. Sold for $14, headed to Wahoo, Nebraska. Wahoo. Okay. Wahoo, Nebraska. Don't you fall on me. By 6x6. Lori. All right. Spinning wheel of death. I don't think we're going to have a record today. Nope, almost. A couple more would have been a record. Just a couple of more, we would have made it. Oops, I messed that up, didn't I? Nick. James. Oliver. Tracy. Christine. Catherine. Timothy. John. Haley. David. Samuel. Amanda. I should start, like, all these names, I have memories of somebody named that, so I should always start like Amanda, my niece. Haley, my niece. James, me. Sandra, somebody I went to school with from kindergarten on and Facebook friends with still. Timothy, a friend I grew up with, brother. What was the other one? Christine, 2 girls I dated. Catherine, one girl I kind of dated. It was a loose date girl. Kyle, a friend I grew up with, son. Who's last? Leon, a guy I worked with who's a drummer here in St. Louis. DJ / drummer. Worked with the music store with. I should do name memories and see if I have a name for every memory. Here's one. Bruce, my dad. This is one that Adrian left to see if it needed resurfaced or not. Nah, that'll play. That will play just fine. Bruce is my brother and my dad and my brother. Junior and senior. That was like almost every name, huh? Pirate ship. All I have left now are these New Balance dad shoes. Going to the UK. Sold for $10. But my shoes going overseas, I think, are way overpriced, shipping wise. I charge like $40 because when I used to sell them in boxes, that's what it took a lot. So let me see what it takes just for these, and I don't think they're going to fit in a bag since I don't have my big bags. Well, probably not width-wise. Got one fit, but not 2. Let's try this one. Not going to happen, so I need a little box for those. changed the price. Let me go see. No, I've changed the US price. That's what I changed. Go. Okay. $10. It's probably gonna be 20, right? Yep, 20. So maybe an extra 20 on the shipping. If I didn't, I'm pretty sure I didn't change this. Boom. We are finito. Finished. Done. Biggity bam. See how many international I had over the weekend. 6 plus 4. So 10 international over the weekend. So that was decent. Can't complain about that one. Oh, now we got something that sells. A pair of shoes, $28. Generation Clash. Generation. All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to hang out in the live, subscribe to my live channel. I should be there today unless something happens. And I will see you all in the next video. Later.